In this world, the truth doesn't always win. Often, it just loses more quietly. That's a hard lesson to learn. And like most things worth learning, it doesn't arrive all at once. It comes slowly through bruises, silence, and watching the wrong people celebrated, while the right ones are forgotten. We grow up thinking that truth is a kind of light, something that will always find its way through the dark. But then we enter the world, and we start to notice something else. It isn't always the truth that gets heard. It's the voice that shouts the loudest. Once, I watched a man lie on television. Boldly. Convincingly. He smiled as he twisted facts into fiction, and millions believed him, not because he was right, but because he spoke with certainty. Meanwhile, the quiet voices, the careful ones, the ones that doubted and fought and paused before they spoke, they were drowned out in the noise. They didn't get retweeted. They didn't trend. In school, we're taught about justice, fairness, logic. But outside those walls, it's a very different game. It's not about what's true. It's about who can say it better, and who people are already willing to believe. Years ago, I worked with a man named Daniel. He was soft-spoken, thoughtful, not the kind of person who fights to be heard. He didn't interrupt. He listened more than he spoke. One day, he made a mistake. A small one, easily fixable. But someone else, louder, more connected, saw an opportunity. They turned it into a spectacle. They framed him, spun the story, whispered in the right ears. And Daniel, he didn't fight back. He believed that the truth would defend him. But it didn't. Because truth in that place had no voice. Only politics did. Only performance. He lost his job. They kept theirs. I remember the look in his eyes the day he packed his box. Not anger. Not even sadness. Just a kind of quiet disbelief. Like someone who finally understood the rules of the game. Too late to play it differently. It's easy to believe that truth speaks for itself. That good will rise. That justice is natural. But the world we live in, this one, it runs on perception. And perception is shaped by power. By status. By charisma. By the confidence to say something wrong. In the right tone of voice. In ancient Athens, Socrates was sentenced to death. Not because he was wrong, but because he was inconvenient. He asked questions that made people uncomfortable. He challenged the noise. And they silenced him permanently. Centuries later, we still read his words. We quote his thoughts. But in his time, the louder voices won. So this isn't new. It's just disappointing that it still happens. That we still believe influence equals insight. That having a platform makes you right. That loudness equals logic. Online, opinions echo faster than facts. Algorithms reward outrage. Nuance is boring. Certainty sells. A single viral voice can destroy a reputation in hours. And it doesn't matter if the accusations are true. What matters is how loudly they're repeated. So we start to play along. We speak in sound bites. We simplify our views to fit the feed. We trade depth for applause. And over time, we forget how to sit with complexity. We forget how to listen. We forget that silence, too, can carry wisdom. Because in this society, we don't always care about what's right. We care about who says it, and how loudly they say it. So what do we do with this? Do we start shouting too? Do we sharpen our words and play the game? Or do we risk staying soft, even if it costs us the spotlight? Maybe the answer isn't to be louder. Maybe it's to make space for the quiet ones. To pause before sharing. To wonder, is this true? Or just popular? Maybe it's to be more like Daniel. But in a world that protects people like him, not punishes them. The truth doesn't always win. Often, it just loses more quietly. But maybe it's time we learn to listen to the quiet, to seek out the voices that aren't trying to dominate, to protect the truths that whisper, because they're too tired or too gentle to shout. In a world that rewards noise, will you be the one who listens?